Elizabeth exhaled, the breath leaving her like a whisper carried away by the cold. She stepped onto the porch, blinking into the soft morning light that peeked through the breaking clouds. At last, she murmured, her voice quiet with disbelief. I've forgotten what the sun looks like. Her boots clacked softly against the wooden floorboards as she moved toward the kitchen. The gentle clinking of utensils filled the silence. Spoon tapping porcelain, cupboard latches clicking open and shut as she prepared breakfast. I'm not sure why I'm making all these eggs, she said to no one in particular, frowning at the skillet. Maybe I should send some down to the cowboys. Footsteps echoed down the hallway. A voice called out behind her. Elizabeth, breakfast is ready. But before she could turn, the air shifted, became heavier. A low, guttural growl rolled in from outside, like a curse on the wind. Her blood turned to ice. There was no time to react. A blur of tawny fur flashed across the window. A cougar, fangs bared, pounced toward the glass. Gunfire rang out. Sharp, deafening cracks that shattered the stillness. The window exploded in a spray of shards. Elizabeth screamed, stumbling backward, hands flying to shield herself. She collapsed into a chair, chest heaving, as the animal lay lifeless outside the shattered windowpane. Her voice trembled. I thought that thing was gonna eat me alive. It was its plan, came the grim reply. Elsa's voice echoed across the frozen silence, like a warning carried on the wind. Winter is the killing season, when the hunters among us seek out the weak, the foolish. Only the very strongest of nature's creatures survive it. Winter is the time of the wolf, the time of the lion, when all nature's failures become a meal. Then spring brings new life, and God tries again. A wolf's howl pierced the distance. Put down your weapons, a voice bellowed. Drop your rifles to the ground. Tension spiked in the air. A group of armed riders stared down another, their eyes cold and determined. What do you want here? Someone demanded. I will not ask again. What do you want here? The standoff ended in an instant. Gunshots exploded, screams erupted, and chaos unfurled like a wildfire. Tribe members scrambled, horses screamed. The ground was soaked in fear. I am looking for a Crow girl, one of them yelled. Indian, 16 years old. Have you seen her? There are no Crow here. A captive shouted, blood on his lip. A man of God stepped forward. Marshal, I demand you release this child. Oh, you demand it, huh? Came the cold response. I do. I've seen your graveyard, father. The marshal said, voice tightening. That same man of God staring at me now. That's the one who filled it. Gods will fill it. The priest replied, a dry laugh. Now we're getting somewhere. That's what I am. The will of God. He snapped the reins. Hi. Pete stumbled into the clearing, cheeks red from the cold. Tiana stood waiting, her eyes scanning the tree line. Pete's breath came in huffs, but a smile touched his lips. He reached her, panting and laughing. Their kiss was soft, hopeful. If he loves you, he'll come for you, Tiana whispered. He can't, she replied. He must protect his family. Protect them from what? Bears? Tiana's words were sharp, angry. I will not have this conversation, she snapped, walking away. Alexandra stood at the dock, the ocean wind lashing her dress around her legs. I need passage to America, she said. I'm running out of time. I have no money, no family. Jennifer's voice was kind. Time is the one thing you do have, Alex. Be patient. Maybe he'll send for you when he reaches Montana. Alexandra's hands trembled. I'm pregnant, she whispered. Jennifer gasped. The moment was a quiet one, bittersweet. Alexandra broke into tears. The crowd roared inside the makeshift ring. Let's go! One round. No time limit. No rules. A man fell with a crash to the dirt. Cheers erupted. I'm really glad you won, said a girl to the victor. I don't have any money either. Later, Elizabeth crept through the snow toward the gate, her breath clouded in front of her. Then, a snarl. A wolf lunged from the trees. Elizabeth screamed. The creature slammed into the gate, snapping and growling. Another gunshot cracked. The beast dropped. Damn things are everywhere this winter, said her rescuer. Elizabeth's voice shook. People shouldn't be here in the winter. Most ain't, he replied. She clutched his arm, still gasping. In a nearby town, A woman sat stiffly across a wooden table. Her boots tapped the floor. "Where are you in from?" someone asked. "Montana." "That's a long way from home." "Montana is my post, not my home. I need a marshal who does field work." You're looking at her. The tension built. "I doubt you traveled this far to question my badge." "You need something. Ask now before I throw you out." The man sneered. "Mind your mouth, woman." "Mademoiselle, we seek a murderer," said the man coldly. "A child. A Crow girl. She killed 2 nuns, 3 priests." The woman nodded slowly. "Take this to Esther. We'll print posters. But remember, Comanche only respect the badge if it respects them back. Tread lightly." Elsewhere, Spencer coughed violently in a dim hotel room. A man paced in front of him, irritated. "You repay my hospitality with this." In a distant city, Spencer fought like a man possessed. Gunshots roared, blades flashed. He moved through attackers with desperation and precision, driven by something deeper than vengeance. His body ached, but his mind stayed sharp. He had to reach her. At the train station, Alexandra gasped for breath. She ran like her life depended on it. "I have a ticket," she cried. "Too late, miss," the conductor said. The train pulled away. "No," she cried, but her voice was lost to the wind. Back home, Jacob watched the ranch dogs playing, their fight for dominance over. He smiled. "All they needed was some wisdom," he said. Kara rolled her eyes. "Jacob, your ignorance is the only reason I haven't left you yet." He laughed. "I don't even know what that means." "Exactly." Jack burst in. "She's gonna have a baby." Kara froze, then smiled. And somewhere else, a rifle touched cold steel to the back of a man's neck. "You're not fast enough," came a whisper. A flurry of violence exploded. Gunshots, screams, then silence. The cold bit at Elizabeth's skin like needles. Though the morning sun had finally pierced the frozen silence draped over the land, she stood on the porch, arms folded over her chest, steam from her breath mingling with the faint golden light that spilled across the snow. She exhaled long and slow. At last, she murmured to herself, a faint smile tugging at the corners of her lips. "I'd forgotten what the sun looks like." Her boots tapped against the wooden floorboards as she stepped back inside. The warmth of the cabin didn't match the intensity of the morning chill, but it was enough to thaw her fingers as she rubbed them together. Walking toward the stove, a pot of boiling water hissed, and the smell of butter and eggs drifted through the room. She'd made too much. Again, the spoon clinked softly against the skillet as she stirred. Her voice drifted, light and tinged with a chuckle. "I'm not sure why I'm making all these eggs. Maybe I should send some down to the cowboys." She moved with grace, but a heaviness rode her shoulders. The quiet hum of gentle music filled the air, mingling with the rhythm of her footsteps. "Elizabeth," called a voice from the hallway. "Breakfast is ready." She turned, startled by the unexpected presence. Before she could respond, the moment shattered. A low growl echoed from the woods behind the cabin. Then came the sound of claws scraping wood. She turned sharply, eyes wide, just as the glass from the kitchen window exploded inward. A flash of tan. A cougar. No, something worse. It moved like wind, like hunger incarnate. She screamed, stumbling backward, her arm thrown over her face as a gunshot rang out. Bang! Another shot. The beast recoiled, snarling, retreating into the tree-line, glass crunching underfoot. Elizabeth gasped, clutching the wall. Her eyes darted toward the broken window. Then the steaming skillet, now cold, was shot. Outside, the snow swallowed the blood. Part 2. The killing season from somewhere far. Alexandra sat on the bench at the edge of the porch, her face pale, lips trembling. The ocean stretched endlessly before her. "I need passage to America," she whispered to the woman beside her. "I'm running out of time. I have no means, no money, no family." The woman smiled softly. "Time is the
I'm
one
looking
thing
for a
you do
crow!
have. Alex,
Indian girl!"
in abundance. Alexandra looked away, her hand protecting her belly. "You're pregnant?" the woman asked. Alexandra nodded.
Can I beat 12, Jacob?
In the dark underbelly of the city, men gathered like wolves, forming a circle around 2 fighters. One was lean, battered, but fierce. The other,
Have you
heavy,
seen her?
gritting with malice. No time limit, no rules. Man who doesn't get up, loses. Bark the announcer. The crowd roared. The bell rang. A brutal punch landed. Then another. Bodies crashed. Blood sprayed. And when it was done,
The man
Spencer
is an
stood
agent of the state.
victorious,
Threaten him
barely
again.
breathing.
You sleep
Swag
on concrete for a
listening on
month.
his brow. A woman
Understand?
from the crowd
Stealing a
approached
man's
him,
grass is...
voice shaking. I'm really glad you won. I don't have any money either. And Beyond will follow the same cinematic style. Deeply immersive and highly visual. Would you like me to continue with the next part of the 8,000-word narrative?
Spencer.
Man is an
Elizabeth
agent of the
stands by
state.
the window.
Threaten him
Her
again.
silhouette
You
bathes
sleep
in
on
the soft
concrete
glow
for a
of
month.
dawn. She
Understand?
sighs deeply.
Stealing a man's
Her
grass
breath
is
fogging
like
the glass.
stealing his
Elizabeth
steers.
laughs. I
You
forgot
graze
to
another
put the
man's
sun
lease
lotion.
again,
She
and I'll
turns
have your
away.
whole flock.
The rhythm tapping as she moves across the floor. Gentle
Indian
music
girl.
plays in the background,
16 years.
blending with the ambient sounds of the morning. The latch clicks as she opens the pantry.
man's
Retrieving a
grass is
basket
like
of fresh
stealing
eggs,
his
she begins
steers.
cracking them into
You
a
graze
bowl.
another man's lease
The
again,
smooth
and
tapping
I'll have your
against
whole
the
flock.
ceramic as
I'm
she
a
mixes.
man of my word.
Wikipedia plus one Elizabeth. I'm not sure why I'm
Stealing
making
grass.
this.
16 years old.
Maybe I
Have
should
you
sit
seen her?
down
There
to the
are no
couch.
crow here.
Her shoes tap against the
There
floor.
are no crow.
As she
Hush,
moves to
hush.
set the table, voice Elizabeth. Breakfast is ready. The New Yorker gets tea. Randy. Moments later, suspenseful music swells as a cougar growls nearby.
Stealing grass.
Suddenly, gunshots ring out,
Man
shattering
doesn't
the
own
morning
the grass.
glass
The
smashes,
mountains own
and
the
Elizabeth
grass.
gasps in shock.
God
INT.
owns the
grass.
Elizabeth's kitchen.
As a man of
Continuous
God,
Elizabeth stands
I demand
frozen,
you release
her
this
breath
child.
shallow. Elizabeth, the first thought
You
the thing
demanded,
was
huh?
gonna eat me
I
alive.
do.
Voice it was explained.
Spencer?
Narration Elsa. Winter is the killing
Spencer?
season, when the hunters among us seek out only the very strongest of nature's
Man doesn't
creatures
own the
survive.
grass.
Winter is the time of the
mountains
wolf,
own the
the
grass.
time of the lion, when all
God
nature's
owns
failures
the grass.
are then
And you
spring
know
brings
God,
new life,
Jacob
and
Dutton.
God tries again.
You
A
know
wolf howls
God.
in the distance, its cry echoing through the cold air.